Hello and welcome to my oral book review on Some Secrets Should Never Be Kept by Jayneen Sanders. I wanted to show you guys the cover of the book so that you would be able to find it if after this review you wanted to read it to your students or to your own child. It is by Jayneen Sanders and she is an Australian author and she really touches on some great topics in this book, and I can't wait to share it with you. So here's a summary of Some Secrets Should Never Be Kept. In a land not so far away, young Sir Alfred and his mother, Lady Susan, lived in a small house. Sir Alfred's mother cleaned the large castle near their house. Since Sir Alfred was too young to stay home alone, Lady Susan brought him with her after school for the lord of the castle, Lord Henry Vontar, to watch over him. Sir Alfred and Lord Henry Vontar were very close and played many games together. One day, while Lady Susan was cleaning a different part of the castle, Lord Henry Vontar tickled Sir Alfred in a way that made him uncomfortable, and sometimes Lord Henry Vontar touched his private parts. Lord Henry Vontar warned Alfred not to tell anyone about their tickle game, and if he did, his mother would not be in the castle anymore. The secret Sir Alfred kept weighed heavily on his heart, and he did not want to play with Lord Henry Vontar the next day, but his mother insisted since he was such a kind lord. When Sir Alfred came straight home from the castle and went to bed crying, Lady Susan knew something was wrong and told young Sir Alfred that there is nothing that should be kept a secret. After many tears, Sir Alfred told his mother of the tickle games and the touching Lord Henry Vontar had done to him, and how he wasn't supposed to tell anyone or his mother would lose her job. Lady Susan promised Sir Alfred that he had done nothing wrong, and that Lord Henry Vontar would be banished from his castle and his kingdom, and Sir Alfred would never see him again. While this book's primary theme is to discuss sexual abuse and that it's a secret that should never be kept, Jayneen Sanders touches on many other smaller themes as well. Students who have experienced divorce, poverty, sexual abuse, and emotional turmoil can all relate to what young Sir Alfred is going through. The story, told through a young knight's perspective, portrays Sir Alfred as a happy boy who has a great friendship with an adult. But just as it happens in the books, sexual assault and emotional abuse can happen between someone a child and a parent knows well and respects. The opening of the story, In a Land Not So Far Away, helps put the story closer to home in reality for the readers. When students read or hear this is happening near them, it can help them realize they can also tell someone if something as bad is happening to them. Jayneen Sanders gives Sir Alfred similar feelings to students who are going through a divorce, poverty, or sexual abuse. Self-blaming is a reaction and a feeling that children have when dealing with difficult situations. Sir Alfred's bravery comes out when he tells his mother what happened and helps show young readers that not everything should be kept a secret. While the book tells of some heavy topics, it does so in a very gentle way. The acts of Lord Henry Vontar are not specified, and there are no images that portray what happened to Sir Alfred, but Jayneen Sanders simply describes them so the author understands what happens enough to know that it was bad. The illustrations portray the emotions Sir Alfred feels as well as Lady Susan, so the reader understands how adults feel in the situation similar to this one. In the illustration where Sir Alfred has told Lady Susan his secret, the reader can notice a tear running down her face. This small detail shows the child who is facing a similar situation that the adult may not be upset or mad, but rather sad. This can deter some children from wanting to talk about what happened to prevent the adult from becoming sad, but Jayneen Sanders included discussion questions at the end of the book. These well-thought-out discussion questions in the back help adults and children talk about what happened to Sir Alfred and the different emotions adults may feel when they are told a child is going through a similar situation. I've included a couple videos, a few books, a few other handouts that I really think are important to incorporate when you read this book, since this book does talk about sexual abuse, and that's such a heavy topic to talk about. I really think it's important that you don't just read one book and then that's the end of it. I think you really need to let the student or your child reflect on what's happening and let them kind of understand the emotions that they're feeling. And so another great book that talks about their body and it being private and it being theirs is I Said No by Zach and Kimberly King. And then a video down in this bottom corner with a little boy in his Superman suit is a video that is My Body Belongs to Me. And it's a great little video that kind of explains how children's bodies are their own and they don't need to let other people touch it even if they say it's okay. So it's really nice, and I love how they portrayed this character as a superhero, so students can understand that anybody can go through this. And then an activity I have included, if you follow the link, is on Pinterest. It talks about who can touch your body. Doctors, that's important if they need to check if you're healthy. If your mom and dad are changing you. But, that also talks about what are good touches and what are bad touches. So it's great that students can, identify if it's a bad touch or if it's a good touch. A hug, a pat on the back, playing with your mom and your dad versus, tickling games like the Lord did with Sir Alfred in this story. So it's a great little worksheet that students can kind of reflect on. And then I found Jayneen Sanders' website, and it was full of discussions, full of resources for parents, full of videos and activities that people can use with their students. And so I have that link on there as well. Thank you for listening to my book review, and I hope that you are encouraged to read Some Secrets Should Never Be Kept by Jayneen Sanders and understand the power that this book can have for students who are going through similar situations.